Number 4 is Jeff Wright, age 13, from Rayleigh in Essex. His time to beat, 124.9. One of the smaller competitors, and he picks up a penalty there. You saw him knock over the bunny hop, which they have to clear as they leap over the barrel. So he started a little shakily.
Yeah, that was very well done. You notice he came up and just slowed right near the top of the teeter-totter and just sloped right on in.
It's a great word, teeter-totter. How's he going to handle this? He's decided to take the extra time and make it safe rather than slide down the bank. There's the route marked out through one gate over the top. There's a compulsory route marker exit gate there that he's just turned around and now drops down to figure of 8 around the saplings.
When the rider reaches a lot of the top of the hills here, you'll notice that they'll let off on the throttle, where they'll actually accelerate real heavy here, and they'll coast. And that'll just make all the momentum they have in the flywheels of the bike just to coast it right to the top of the hill.
Taking a long sweep around to give himself a flying chance at the log pan. They're all trying it the same way, Jack. Whoops!
Oh yes, you could tell it slowed down quite a bit on that. And if you're going to do that, you've got to just skip all the way across.
Well, it's a desperately difficult section, that one. The course builders have excelled themselves in their nastiness with this, but that's a good little ride. Must have missed a foot down, I suppose, whilst he was coming onto it.
Well, you can just see how slippery that is, and they have to get on this thing and balance, and when they're coming at it sideways, it makes it quite hard.
And he gets away with that. It's a good one. There's a whistle blown there at the top, which we're not hearing very well.
As you can see, just a nice wide approach. He'll accelerate and coast up.
An 8-foot drop if they come off there. It's a good ride. First time in Kickstart, 126 seconds plus 60 makes 186. This is Julian Ingham from Ramsbottom in Bury. He's 14.
When he gets towards the end of the jump right here, you'll notice he actually did the same technique he'd use on the regular bunny hop.
Now that shows, must interrupt you there, Jack, just how greasy this ground is. Just landed a little bit out of control and away he went. Anyway, that only cost him time. No penalties. And he's taking the long way on this. I suppose we said at the beginning, better to be sure than sorry.
Yeah, it sure is, but if they could make that turn just a little wider and go quickly around it, they would save a lot of time.
The ground is drying out all the time, but the mud is very clingy. It's making the tires into slicks almost immediately.
When he comes around here, you'll notice how he's using the clutch, where he's just using it, just slipping it out a little bit, and then just lets it out and does the coast up the end. Very easy.
He's been riding since he was 6 years old. He's 14 now. Was the... Oh, and that was a beautiful ride. That's how they clean it. He won the British C-Class Championship this year. He's a pretty useful footballer as well. Plays for his school team. And he's got a penalty there. A bit unfortunate. That's the first one he's picked up, and it's a very good ride indeed so far. Good time. He could well go into the lead with this one.
The approach is so important right there.
He's fastest over the ground. 91.2 plus 20 makes 111.2. He's in the lead. Paul Edmondson then, 15 years old, from Chasetown in the Midlands.
But it's so important for the rider to just keep so straight and let the bike do all the turning and the leaning, and so he can just stand right there.
And not quite enough power on that, but taking it steady. Better to clean this than to slip and get a foot down, take 20-second penalties. It's advantageous to use a few seconds just making sure of it.
When he goes around these turns, you'll still notice that his body stays straight up and down, and the bike will lean into the turns. See, just in here, the bike will lean to the right, his body straight up and down.
It's Still a fair bit of form, this lad. He's won 3 out of his last 4 junior motocross events. And, what is he going to do here? Oh, he was nearly through. Nearly through. And, of course, he was well out of it there, picking up more penalties, making a total of 178.5. So the 2 qualifiers from that first heat, Julian Ingham in 111.2 and Wayne Braybrook in 124.9. They go to the final. So now it's the turn of the juniors, and they'll tackle the course in the opposite direction. But as you can imagine, being such youngsters, the eldest of them is just 12. The course has had to be modified slightly. For instance, the bank down which the seniors came, which had logs and some bars along the side, that's been removed. So that's a straight climb. It's a pretty steep climb, but it ought to be rideable. The log fan, which caused such a great deal of trouble, that also has been modified. It's now a route through which they have to ride. Still awkward, but a little bit easier. We don't expect them to do any damage to themselves, at least on that. So the junior heat, heat 1, here's a list of the riders. First on the line, James Bentley, who's 12, comes from Manchester. Russell Jones, then, from Llangollen in North Wales, he's 12. Stephen Colley from Onchan in the Isle of Man, previous winner, 12 years old. Richard Warner, who's 8 years old, from Henley. Mike Fisher, who's 11, from Hartlepool. And Anthony Tempest, who's 11, from Richmond in Yorkshire. And we start off then with one of the favourites here, stands a very good chance of going through. James Bentley, aged 12. Been riding for 5 years, and for the last 5 years he's been Northwest Centre champion. He's been a finalist in Kickstart in both 1982 and 83, and makes easy work of that pole across a very deep dip and straight up the bank. No problem at all for him there. Now we come to a modified section of the course, the log fan, which is now a route that they have to take. It's an awkward route, very deep mud there, requires a fair amount of control. And he's a very composed rider indeed, isn't he, Jim?
Yes, he certainly is. He has very good control, real strong, very good.
And making very easy work of what we think is an extremely difficult course, and in fact all the riders themselves said they're a bit frightened of it, but he's putting up a good time. And a foot down there, his first mistake.
Yes, it's quite slippery coming down that bank right there. You know, they need to get a good bit of acceleration to get started.
And he's really lost his composure here. He's got to go over each of those dragon's teeth to get out of the section. Oh, this is really unfortunate.
There it is. Right, he backed up and got a good run at it. Very good.
So he's got to leap out now, and very, very nasty ground to come over as he comes through the finish there. And 106.7 with 20 against him makes 126.7. It's a good time. Next on the line, Russell Jones, age 12, from Llangollen in North Wales. Presently leading the Cheshire Centre C-Class Championships.
It's real important, of course, that he gets a good, firm approach to this. If he's timid, he can wobble right there.
Oh, I think he missed the gate out. I have to check. I didn't see a marshal's flag, but I think he may have got 20 there.
Just came in a little bit
missed
quick.
The entrance gate there. Now, that ought to be disqualification. He really missed the gate. Now they'll have to wait for a ruling on that. The balance barrel and the gun barrel he missed. We'll just take a look at that again. Just check on his approach to the balance bar. He certainly got a penalty there, but just check on whether he gets his front wheel through the entrance gate. Yes, he just does, doesn't he, Jack? But in any case, a massive number of penalties against him, so out of it anyway.